You are Locked On Coogs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Coogs, Parker Ainsworth here, breaking down all things Houston Cougars, including some overreactions I'm sure you're hearing on this fine start of the week coming off of Houston's drumming over the weekend. Now, people are broadly saying after the offense struggled that Houston's got a quarterback issue. And it's really simple, I think, to put all of the offense on one player, good or bad. The offense is humming. The quarterback's the best quarterback in America. If the offense is not, then he's the worst. And frankly, you even see people do that with wins and losses, and that has always irked me. Wins are not a quarterback stat. Wins are barely really a pitcher stat. I mean, the way you qualify for one as a pitcher is not. Anyway, neither here nor there. And look, Connor Wigman made plenty of mistakes, no doubt about it. And Zion Chriss-Gremillion came in after his injury. And Zion made a couple plays early as soon as he came in. And it made you think, okay, you hit Amari Thomas from the middle against cover zero. That goes off for a big score. Zion can run a little bit, and so he's getting some yards that Connor was unable to escape from guys in, right? Maybe that's a good thing. And I truthfully, if you ask me in a moment of honesty, I wonder, would Zion have had more success if he didn't play the final few minutes of the first half, but came in after halftime, right? I think Sheil Wood, who has seen Zion Chriss up close and in person as the Houston defense coordinator a year ago, went into halftime and said, here's what we're going to do, folks, and just laid it out for him, right? I mean, he had the time to. Had this happened at the start of the third quarter, I think they would have been caught just as off guard and probably would have still loaded the box like they did for the Amari Thomas touchdown. And you might have seen a different, or maybe a few different series, right? Like that could have caught people a little bit more off guard. I don't think that means that there's a real quarterback drama. Connor Wigman is the guy. It's a different offense with him in the game. It opens up different options. But Houston, with him, without him, with anyone at quarterback, was not going to have an effective offensive game plan in this one. They were outmatched at the point of attack at a number of different positions. The offense was unable to stay on the field for get any real rhythm for any quarterback with anything going. And I think what stands out to me is a team that blitzes at one of the lowest rates in all of Power 4 college football in Texas Tech. Now, the rate, I don't know the exact number after the Houston game, but it was fifth lowest in Power 4 football going into this game. Was able to pressure Houston on 65.5% of passes. That means on rounding up to 66, 2/3 of all pass attempts Houston had a sack, a hit, or a hurry on them. 2/3. And that's a team that doesn't blitz. That's just how dominant the pass rush was out of Texas Tech on Saturday. I don't care if you put Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, I don't care who you put back there. Michael Vick, they're still running around for life, right? Like it doesn't seem to matter. That was going to be too big an issue for any quarterback back there in that one. Now, with Zion Chriss-Gremillion, if Connor Wigman's injury, we may find out early this week, we may find out late this week when injury reports come out. If Connor Wigman's out this week, right? Zion Chriss-Gremillion is able to win Big 12 games. He won 3 last year. He can do it when his defense keeps the scoring low. He's able to be a true dual threat guy, and you can involve him in the run game, spend a lot of clock, shorten the game, right? You were a double-digit favorite this week, and week after that, we'll see what things look like with Arizona. But Arizona's this year not as good as they were last year, and frankly, while you laid an egg a little bit last year at their place, they're coming to you this year, right? We just saw how loud TDs can get. There are lots of fans screaming for Austin Carlisle's turn as well, and I don't want to dismiss that as far as these takes go, where it's in here on Overreaction Monday, but I do want to give my 2 cents there. Austin Carlisle has a long career ahead of him as a very talented athlete and quarterback. When you look at it, though, how many true freshman quarterbacks step into Power 4 football and move the needle? Now, people are going to be quick to type out, like Bear Bachmeier's doing it right now at BYU, Parker. But when you've watched BYU play, and actually watched them play on Friday night on TV, because it was a fun TV game to watch on Friday night. Once I got to Houston and was in town, like watching them with some buddies and beverages and those kinds of things, it was very apparent to me in watching that game that Barrett Bachmeier is leading BYU at quarterback, sure, but they're really successful as a program because everything around him, he's got a ton of time to make decisions to throw the football. He's got very talented and extreme, like sixth year guys that are 25 years old playing wide receiver. And then he's throwing dinks and dunks for big yards after catch. And then every now and then letting one just really rip because he's a big, strong guy. He's 6'2", 230. They're using that frame to their advantage as well. He wears number 47, and he looks like a number 47 as running around out there. And with all that working for him, they barely beat Colorado. They only beat West Virginia, which is in their fourth string quarterback, by 2 touchdowns. Yes, BYU is ranked. I think that's more about everything around Bear Bachmeier right now, right? And if that's your example of a freshman quarterback, I love a lot what Houston's got going on. They're not quite there in the surrounding stuff on the freshman quarterback yet either, right? True freshman quarterbacks rarely step in and move the needle or change things at the Power 4 level. That's just the jump, and that's just hard to do. Now, I will say, if you're going to have Connor Wigman out for an extended period of time, or you've got questions about if Zion can come in because Wigman has been hurt before, and you maybe didn't like what you saw him as a backup or whatever in this game as a staff. I don't think it's fair to Austin Carlisle to make his first snaps since playing against North Shore last November in a high school playoff game. You can't make his first snaps in live action suddenly coming out after sudden change, Connor's down, we need to put someone in, or sudden change, whichever quarterback is in is throwing a couple picks, we just want to go with someone else for a fresh series, right? That's not fair to him either. That's way too sudden. I think that if you're going to try to work that guy and work Carlisle in this, you need to have some sort of a package built in because he is an extremely talented athlete. He is incredibly fast. He can make guys miss an open field, right? To kind of work that to his advantage, get him comfortable, and you got to kind of stair step it. I will say, though, that he's going to be around for a while, and he's going to have time to develop. And I don't know. He gets 4 games before the red shirt gets torn. I don't know that tearing the red shirt is worth it when you've got Connor Wigman out there potentially. Now, if Connor Wigman's hurt and you need a true backup, that's a whole different situation, obviously. I do think that the part of the thing on Saturday was, as stagnant as the offense was, with the issues specifically being the pass rush from Texas Tech, I don't know that throwing a kid that just played, like I said, his last live action against North Shore High School and high school playoff game, and it was less than a calendar year ago. I don't know how fair that is to make that his first, welcome to the big leagues, kiddo, kind of moment, right? That's taking a rookie pitcher and putting it out there against prime Barry Bonds, right? That ain't fair. And I think that you need to set the kid up for success because, frankly, he deserves it. And you want to make sure he is set up for success because he's going to have a lot of success when it's his turn, right? And I think that's where I'm at on that one. Now, if that turn is later this year, you just got to do it right. And I don't think that Saturday night was going to be right on that one. Now, I will say all that to say that this is the issue of Houston having a quarterback is an overreaction. For they just don't have good quarterback play because Connor Wigman, that is, when he's not running for his dear life, has shown you that he can actually play the position pretty well. He's gotten better until the Tech game. He's gotten better each week, right? And I think that there's enough to build off of there. I think, again, like I said, with proper preparation and against the right opponents and with the right, Zion Chriss has won Big 12 games. Frankly, you can't say that about a lot of people who committed to the program before, right? It is not quite an overreaction, though. If the question is, you don't have a quarterback or you have a quarterback issue because of health, it does get interesting if Wigman is not healthy. I think they still find a way to win some games. I still think they still go bowling, all of that. But it certainly does get interesting. And that's a whole separate thing. I guess we won't find out till later in the week. But the issue of like, do they have anyone on the roster to play a position? No, they do. He wears number 1, actually, and he's all right. We just gotta make sure he's healthy and good to go. Now, I got one more reaction to respond to about the defense. We spent a lot of time on the offense today. One more on the defense as well. Before we get to that, today's show is brought to you by our buddies over at Square, because Square is your favorite neighborhood spot's favorite app. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood just the neighborhood. There are places that become the extension of home, whether it's sports bar dedicated to your favorite fan base, or best wings in town, or coffee shops, or sports, whatever the case is. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. I've been going with my favorite one of these is Conchinita, because it's a great story. They started an operation out of a truck back in 2016, running on Square. They're now a brick and mortar location across the freeway from the U of H, still running strong, still humming along, still running on Square as well. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. Go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. Before you do, don't forget to go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square. See you in the neighborhood.